Did he forget you too quickly? Maybe the mistake was trying to be everything except truly unforgettable. I'm Nyra Elowyn, and today, maybe you'll understand why some presences leave a mark while others just pass through. Today, you'll understand what really makes someone memorable, and you'll learn how to leave marks that time can't erase. It's not about becoming unforgettable. It's about stopping being easily replaceable. You believed that pleasing was the path to being remembered, but the more you tried to fit in, the more he forgot. The truth is simple and sharp. The woman who molds herself too much ends up erasing herself, and what disappears leaves no trace. The pain of feeling disposable doesn't just come from being left behind. It comes from giving too much, from trying so hard to be perfect that you lose your own essence. You adjusted your words, your tone, your gestures. You stopped saying no. You swallowed discomfort. You smiled when you wanted to run away, all to avoid rejection. But ironically, you were forgotten because you lost your contrast. There's a name for this: emotional chameleon effect. It's when you adapt so much to your environment that you vanish inside it. The human mind doesn't register what's predictable. It holds on to what's distinct, what has its own shape. Those who dissolve too much become background, never the protagonist. You may have been sweet, attentive, always present. But if all of that came from fear of losing, not from the desire to be, then what he saw wasn't you. It was an edited version, without soul, without edge. You typed and deleted messages, not from doubt, but from fear of being too much. You accepted last-minute plans, swallowed broken promises, ignored clear absences, and with every self-erasing gesture, you taught him how to forget. Stop thinking that being unforgettable is about effort. It's about authenticity. It's when you stop trying to impress and start simply existing, fully. With boundaries, with opinions, with a presence that doesn't ask permission to be. If you want to be remembered, it's not about shouting louder. It's about speaking your truth. It's not about always being there. It's about being so rooted in yourself that your absence weighs more than your constant presence. 3 simple habits can change this game. Do one thing a day just for you, without involving him. Reinforce at least one personal choice, no matter how small. That doesn't rely on his approval. Say no to something that erases you, and stand by that no. You don't need to be remembered for being easy. You need to be remembered for being real. Because in the end, the question that really matters isn't whether he forgot you. It's, if you were always trying to please, what of you did he actually get to know? What he never forgets isn't your face. It's how he felt around you. You invested in your looks, changed your hair, picked your outfit carefully, practiced your gaze. You tried to be seductive, present, desirable, and still, he forgot. The problem wasn't you. It was the wrong bet. Thinking that image creates attachment. The mistake is thinking men remember what they see, but what truly holds them is what they feel. And that you can't buy with cleavage or performance, because connection isn't built through rehearsal. It's born from the emotional experience you create without even realizing it. The human mind is driven by strong emotion. There's even a theory for it: emotional imprint. Science shows the brain remembers most intensely what's tied to emotion. It's not the perfect day he remembers. It's the moment he felt something real, even if he didn't know why. He may have forgotten your face, but he didn't forget the silence you gave when he expected a scene. He didn't forget the way you looked at him, not with anger, but with a calm pain that said everything without saying a word. That marks, that stays, that unsettles. You don't have to be the most beautiful. You have to be the most real. The woman who is remembered isn't the one who impresses. It's the one who creates internal impact, who leaves space in his mind to keep thinking about her after she's gone. You don't need to create scenes. You need to create anchor moments, small, genuine, a cup of coffee that became a refuge, a laugh that broke the tension, and "I understand," he never expected to hear. Things that have no script but leave a footprint. The unforgettable woman isn't the one who demands attention. She's the one who, even in absence, remains. And that starts when you stop trying to be perfect and start being whole. Want to be remembered? Then ask yourself, what does your presence awaken? Without you saying a single word? 3. When you stop offering yourself, he starts to seek you. You were always there. Quick to reply, said yes to every invite, gave more than you received, and still, he disappeared. The answer isn't in what you did wrong, but in how much you offered without him needing to ask. There's a huge difference between being available and being predictable. And when your presence becomes a guarantee, his brain stops paying attention. The human mind values what escapes control, what isn't always there, waiting. Psychology calls this emotional scarcity. It's the principle that fuels desire. The brain is activated by rarity. When you show up too much, respond instantly, are always present. He doesn't miss you because he never got to feel your absence. And here comes the uncomfortable truth. The more you push yourself onto him, the less he misses you. The more you try to prove your worth, the less he sees it. He only starts to notice you when you stop putting yourself in front of him and know this isn't a game. This is balance. Too much presence suffocates. Strategic distance gives room to breathe. A woman who knows how to pace her giving activates something in him that no amount of chasing ever will. The emotional pursuit instinct. You don't need to vanish, but you do need to slow the flow. Stop giving everything before he even asks. Pause, leave space, create silences. Because only in silence will he notice the sound your absence makes. The practice of selective presence begins with 3 simple steps. Delay your reply, even by a few minutes. Show him your life doesn't revolve around him. Cancel a plan. Not as punishment, but as a reminder of your autonomy. Disappear for a whole day, no warning, no explanation, just to remind yourself that you are whole, even when far. Are you truly being seen? Or are you just filling space so you won't feel forgotten? Because the woman he ends up chasing is the one who was no longer there when he finally looked. Your authenticity is the signature he'll never erase. You erased yourself trying to be what he wanted. You made compromises, softened your edges, silenced your truth, all to fit in, all to be accepted. And in the end, you were forgotten. Because the woman you presented wasn't you. This is the most silent wound, realizing he didn't leave you. He left a version, a molded, polished, pasteurized version, one without soul, and what has no soul leaves no mark. There's something neuroscientists call an emotional signature, an invisible imprint we leave on people. It's not built with looks or effort. It comes from what's uniquely yours, your genuine gestures, your honest gaze, your unapologetic reactions. The more real you are, the more unmistakable you become, because what's whole has no replica. Only performances can be copied. You thought you had to be sweet all the time, understanding, easygoing, but you forgot. The strongest presence is the one that isn't afraid to displease, the one that dares to be whole, even if it costs approval. He may forget your compliments, but he'll never forget the day you said no without flinching. The moment you held your ground and didn't give in, the time you didn't beg to stay or make a scene to be loved, want to be remembered, reclaim your signature. Start by listing 5 things you loved before trying to please anyone. Songs, places, silences, hobbies, gestures. Then, one by one, reintroduce them into your life, once a week. Not so he remembers you, but so you remember yourself. The Baye's woman he never forgets is the one who never tried to be someone else. She was just herself. No disguises, no molds, no apologies for being intense, firm, and real. And if today you wonder why he left, maybe the answer hurts more than you expected. Did he really know you? Or just the version you thought he wanted? 5. Be careful. You're being remembered for the wrong reasons. You want to be remembered. But have you asked yourself, for what? Many women leave a mark, but not for love, for the chaos they caused, and being unforgettable for the pain. Is not a triumph, it's a scar. Yes, you gave, but you also yelled, you made scenes, sent long voice notes, demanded, begged, threatened to disappear, and he remembers, not the connection, but the discomfort, the emotional weight, the instability that scratched at his peace. There's a harsh fact in neuroscience. The brain records negative experiences more intensely. They activate the most primitive parts of the mind. But that doesn't mean longing. It means relief for having escaped. He doesn't remember you fondly. He remembers you with exhaustion. You were intense, and your intensity became his excuse to call you too much. Not because you were, but because you let your pain speak louder than your presence. That's the quiet mistake. Confusing intensity with depth. Thinking being felt is enough. When in reality, what creates lasting impact is being felt with emotional safety. The woman who leaves a positive mark is the one who offers peace without being passive. Who's firm without being cruel? Who says what she feels but doesn't beg for validation? Who becomes absence without threats, just leaves? Want to rebuild your presence? Start by creating a new energy standard. Let go of chaos as a strategy to be remembered. Embrace silence as a form of clarity. The right man misses the woman who was a harbor, not a storm. Create emotional security, not for him, for yourself. So in your next relationship, or even in his presence if he returns, you won't need to lose control just to feel seen. Because in the end, the real question isn't whether he'll remember. It's, do you want to be remembered or emotionally desired? She, the woman he never forgets, is the one who knew how to leave with dignity. You left, but came back once, twice, 7 times. Each return felt like a new beginning, but it was really just one more crack in the memory he has of you. Because every time you go back to someone who doesn't choose you, you teach him not to fear your absence. The pain of leaving is real. But there's a more corrosive pain, staying where you're no longer seen. You wanted him to miss you, but deep down, the one you were trying to convince was yourself, that there was still something left to save. There's a deep concept in love, emotional respect. Couples therapist Esther Perel speaks of this. Desire and memory don't grow in pity, they grow in admiration. And the woman who knows how to leave without drama is the one who stays imprinted. He doesn't miss the one who made a scene. He misses the one who walked away with strength, who didn't give speeches, who closed the door and didn't leave a crack open. The absence that echoes is the one that comes without noise, the one that doesn't wait for applause. But this departure has to start inside. Before leaving the relationship, you must leave the illusion. Close the emotional cycle. Tell yourself that what you hope to receive from him, he never had to give. Start your internal goodbye like this. Write a letter that you'll never send, with everything you wanted to say. Then, tear it up. Delete the entire conversation. Not to forget him, but to remind yourself it's already over. Create a new ritual for the days you want to go back. Light a candle, play a song, and say out loud, I won't return to the place I lost myself. Are you staying because you still love him? Or because you're still waiting for him to notice something you refuse to see? The woman he never forgets isn't the one who insisted. It's the one who knew how to leave with dignity, silence, and truth. He never forgets the one who made him look at himself. You tried to be nice, to avoid conflict, smooth things over, to be the woman who understands, who accepts, who waits. But deep down, you wanted him to see what he was doing. You wanted him, just once, to look at himself without the filter of your tolerance. The unforgettable woman is not the one who smiles all the time. She's the one who becomes a mirror, not an audience. She doesn't applaud his gestures, she questions them. Not to shame, but to awaken. There's something that turns a presence into a lasting memory, the ability to spark awareness. A transformative presence is one that forces you to stop and think, to rethink your choices, to shine light where you only saw comfort zones. You don't need to be nice. You need to be honest. The kind of woman who looks him in the eye and calmly asks, "Is this who you want to be?" You think he forgot you. But sometimes, in the middle of the night, he remembers the day you said less and said everything. The moment you didn't beg, didn't scream, you just held up a mirror and walked away. That's the mark that lingers, of someone who didn't make him feel loved, but responsible, who didn't make him chase, but think, who didn't try to fit in, but made him grow. You may have left his life, but if at any moment he felt you made him face himself, he'll never forget you. To create that kind of presence, practice brave conversations. Not with accusations, but with questions. One well-placed question, at the right moment, can change everything. And if today he's distant, and you want to leave a mark without shouting, begging, or coming back, ask yourself, do I want to be remembered as the one who pleased him, or the one who helped him grow? If he came back today, would you open the door, or open your eyes? You don't need to do anything to be remembered. You just need to stop forgetting yourself while trying to be accepted. Because what he'll never forget is the moment you stopped begging for space and started claiming your own. If this video spoke to you, drop a comment and share the part that hit home. And if you're done settling for less than you deserve, go ahead and hit subscribe. Every video here is a step toward emotional freedom and real happiness in love. Until next time. With love, Nyra Elowyn.